Well, long have we awaited. Cousins Gymnasium activated. The debut of the 2022-23 Tufts Jumbos volleyball team is on the horizon, and we are here to cover it on JumboCast. Welcome, everybody. My name is Andrew Howell, being taking you through this NESCAC matchup. Alongside me, Jordan Burke, here for an amazing matchup between two very exciting NESCAC opponents.
That's right, Andrew. Today's matchup should be quite interesting indeed. The Jumbos not necessarily playing up to the caliber that we're used to seeing them at, and Middlebury having an unreal year at the net. I mean, their blocking has just been impeccable. We're in for one heck of a game.
Jordan, I could not agree more. The blocking from Middlebury is their key to winning this game. Their defense is what has to match the Tufts offense if they want to stay neck and neck with one of the NESCAC title contenders.
We've got a three-man booth for an exciting matchup as we take a look at the comparisons of the stats that these two teams have. In terms of record, very even, but in terms of other areas, Jordan, maybe some places where Tufts can attack.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the key thing here is to look at that hitting percentage. Tufts is hitting at a much higher clip, over 200. That's just a substantial margin above a 169 hitting percentage from Middlebury. It's going to be one of the key points to look at today.
Right, if you look at the individual stats, you'll find 4 Tufts players ahead of the top Middlebury hitter in terms of efficiency. So that's where you want to watch on the pins and in the middle for the Tufts Jumbos.
We're going to head our way over to Cousins as we watch the playing of the national anthem. As we take a look at the keys to the game, Jordan, a couple things that we can look at for the Tufts Jumbos to extend their record to 7-3.
Yeah, these are just 3 things that I think are going to make a drastic difference here in terms of the Jumbos and hoping to win today. So first off with that, we're going to try and minimize hitting errors, Hank.
Yeah, minimize errors in the broadcast as well. Yes, with Ava Tuccio blocking for Middlebury, the elite first year on defense. She'll want to make all the hitters uncomfortable on Tufts, but they're great at spreading the ball around. From the middle, they've got Legree and Cunningham, and from the pins, they've got a pair of good right sides and outsides as well. So it's going to be really tough for Middlebury to focus on a few hitters and get some blocks down.
Yeah, Hank, as you mentioned, those blocks going to be a huge thing to be concerned about. The middle blockers each having over 20, hence why we are concerned with whether or not the Jumbos are going to be able to actually swing around the middle blockers. And lastly, of course, there's the ability to close out the sets. So, Hank, I know you noticed something earlier. You want to share with the crowd?
Yes. In every single set, win or loss for Tufts this season, they have never failed to reach at least 19 points. So the problem is not getting points on the board. It's just finishing each set. Tufts will absolutely hit 20 every single set against this Middlebury team. I can almost guarantee it, but there's a commentary curse for you. And the only issue they'll have is trying to close out those final 5 points.
Yeah, and, it's not just scoring 20 or more points against, your run-of-the-mill teams. These are some teams that are very, very good that Tufts has played against away before they began here at home. Speak of number 9 ranked NYU, number 17 ranked Wesleyan. Both teams that have a really strong level of power, and Tufts is able to match up, and even though they haven't taken a lot of wins necessarily in those categories, have been able to be competitive, will definitely be competitive against this Middlebury team who hasn't had the same strength of schedule.
Quite a fair point there, Andrew. So about to get underway here. Lineups sitting out. They're going to do ye olde lineup check, make sure everyone's standing in the right spot as reported by the coaches. And different look at this year for the Jumbos, missing perhaps 2 of fan favorites through the past 4 years in Kate Dessler and Ariel Zedrick, gone now. But I think we are in for a treat with who we got coming in to replace them.
Absolutely. And a good reminder, first of all, that Tufts has already played 9 games this season, even though this is their home opener. So plenty of road experience, but now they get to play in Cousins Gymnasium with the newly named tie court. Andrew, why don't you kick us off?
Tie court is the name, apparently, as I have just learned. Maddie, you back to serve. We are about to begin the Jumbos volleyball season. Krakowski gets the first attack here for the Panthers. See them continuing to utilize that left side. Yu's going to find Yarwood on a back set. Off the net it goes. Nice dig by Yarwood. Lee's going to keep it alive. And a bit of a miscommunication there for Middlebury will get Tufts the first point of the game.
Yeah, not exactly how you would see that one coming. I mean, just scrappy defense there. I mean, behind the head pass from Christine Audette to net the Jumbos the first point.
Krakowski continues to be the option for the offense here for Middlebury. And Yarwood can barely not get over. It's tied 1-1.
Right, Yarwood's got to stay on her toes for that one. Caught lacking in the back, usually in that middle back position. She'll want to be able to get those corners.
And we're already starting to see some of those presence from the middle blockers there. Grace Legree's hit was knocked right up in the air. It took a lot of power off of that ball.
They go to the right side. This time, Legree, maybe from a different spot of the court than we expected, Henry.
Lee, you, Legree, get used to it. That's the 1-2-3 that Tufts is looking for every single point.
With her first kill of the game. Senior out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, has 38 kills now on the year.
Great town, great town.
Krakowski this time from the right side. Yard with a strong swing, and Ferrero cannot get to it in time.
See, for a team that has both a defensive specialist and a libero, you'd think that the defense would be a little bit stronger from Middlebury, but in the first couple of points, we're starting to see some lacking here, just finding holes that shouldn't be there. Lack of communication really just working in the Jumbos' favor.
This time, the captain, Lucy Ombach, gets an opportunity to get the score up to 2.
Absolutely, and Jordan, they're also running a 5-1 rotation, if I'm not mistaken, so they're giving up hitting power on offense for that better defense, so absolutely need to make these passes.
Bit of a soft hit up front. There's Lightfoot on the right side. Yu finds Yarwood with a nice touch. It'll be Lee on the dig. Center dump in for Maddie Yu, perfectly executed for the kill.
And that's just what you like to see right there from Maddie Yu. You get a perfect pass. Everyone's thinking that's going to be a set right to the middle, or it's going to be some sort of quick tempo ball to the right side. And that's what freezes the defense, gives you the time to just dump the ball over, find the center of the court, and get the ball down for a point for the Jumbos.
Legree. Nice kill up front. A point of struggle for the Jumbos last year was some synergy issues between the younger setter, Maddie Yu, and her more experienced hitters. But there we saw a nice quick 3 from Maddie Yu straight to Legree, and they got the point.
Yeah, these passes have just really been on point here. The Jumbos defense making the offense look great, giving those good passes so they can run quick tempo plays and get better swings on there. that's one of the ways that I think is going to be a good way for the Jumbos to beat the middle blockers. When you have such a strong blocking presence, you need to do one of two things to shake it up. You either got to change the tempo, run either faster or slower so that the block isn't getting there in time, or you got to be shifty and you have to use the setter dumps. And so far the Jumbos have executed both of those perfectly according to plan and has got them up 5 points, causing Middlebury to take a timeout.
Early timeout here by Sarah Raunecker in her 27th season here coaching the Panthers. Let's take a look at their lineup really quick, unless Henry has something else to say. The highlights here for the side of Middlebury. Definitely their middle blockers. Lexi Lienefelter has been an exceptional surprise here for the Panthers. 93 kills already on the year. Henry mentioned Ava Tuccio, and now Lucy Ombach appearing to play on the right side in replace of Stephanie Mayer.
Yeah, Middlebury trying to usher in some points here.
Audette has had a good service run so far. The junior out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, with 17 service aces on the season, already well past her total in 2021. O'Toole looks right to the middle, but a nice dig coming out from Audette, and Yarwood goes straight down to the floor. 7-1 Tufts.
You know, Andrew, you did make a point there, how she's passed her totals in 2021. That's because she didn't play a whole lot. You know, she got some time in when Janelle Yarwood was out, but now with Kate Dessler graduating, there's this open spot for the outside hitters. Audette has stepped in, and oh, how she stepped in beautifully, synergizing well with this lineup.
O'Toole this time to Kraskowski. Yarwood again, but it's blocked up in the middle. Legree with a nice touch, sending it right back to the opposing territory.
And it started with a nice fundamental pass by number 7, Maya Lightfoot. Middlebury have been giving roll shots, weak hits over the net to Tufts, and they've been executing on every single chance.
Jumbo's on an exceptional run so far. It is 8-1 in their favor. Kraskowski out of bounds.
I like the look there from Middlebury, trying to change things up. You know, just going to the middle every time hadn't really been working for them, so you try a little slower tempo ball to the right side. Maybe you catch some blocks lacking, find a hole. There was a massive corner open, just poor hit sent that ball way out of bounds.
Frere on the receive. Kraskowski this time from the opposite side of the court. Jumbo's with a nice opportunity, but it looks like Legree was unable to get up in time, giving Middlebury their 3rd point.
Hard to say because that was a really nice pass from the Jumbo's back line, but that's the type of hit that Middlebury wants now. They're hitting around the block and not taking any power off of it. It's going to be a lot harder for Steph Lee and Yarwood back there to get nice passes to their setters, and that's how Middlebury gets back in this game.
Yarwood with a nice swing. Recovered by O'Toole. Nice dump down by Lucy Ombach. Was a pretty exceptional player last year with 128 kills. This year, now with 3 really strong middle blockers, has had to make some other opportunities happen for herself.
Yeah, and that was a great opportunity right there. I mean, you had a setter out situation from Middlebury. Libero steps in to make the set and gives a pretty good set as we see Maya Lightfoot struggle with that roll shot.
I jinxed it hard. I said Maddie Yu has gotten on the same page with her hitters, and look at that. 2 miscommunications in a row, one to Legree, another to Lightfoot, and Middlebury is doubling their points.
Who will you find this time? She'll go to the right side, and guess what, Jordan? This time, Lightfoot was there.
You know, they do say practice makes perfect, and there's no better practice than a game-time situation. So if you don't work on one play, maybe they're not going to see it coming if you just send the ball right back to the same hitter, and that's exactly what Maddie Yu did there.
Sullivan. Hey, if it works once, why not go twice? Maya Lightfoot, 2 straight kills.
And I don't agree with that tip by Middlebury right there. If you're a fan of football, you'll know to pass the ball, first you got to run the ball, and in volleyball, first you got to hit into the block before you can tip it over.
O'Toole to Sullivan. And a really nice shot here by Lainey Sullivan, the senior, getting herself onto the board. Middlebury starting to work themselves back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Hank made a great point there. Like, you need to be able to play good volleyball before you can start playing scrappy volleyball. And Middlebury had been struggling with that up until this point. Off of serves, the passes haven't necessarily been super great, which means that the set can't be that great either. Great block there, and that's what we're talking about. Middlebury middles are just all over the ball.
Sullivan and Linafelter with a combined 36 blocks on this season. Ambach also with 21. The middle up front is very strong for them.
That last play by Tufts, as we see one go out there from Cunningham, was a certified Coach Thompson classic. The outside coming in on the first set of the point, coming in at the middle hit with a 2, has worked incredibly well. It worked well with Kate Dessler last year, and it worked there with Yarwood right now.
They're going to send Ambach up and gets right over the blockers, and Lee cannot dive in time.
So it seems like we're going to have a battle of quick-tempoed Jumbo's offense versus scrappy, just try to get the ball over Middlebury offense. And so far, working in the Jumbo's favor. But since, I mean, ever since that timeout, things were a little rocky. But it looks like Middlebury's starting to click here.
Kelly Ferrero has 14 service aces on this season. Not that time, though, as it goes out of bounds. Fun fact, gentlemen, Kelly Ferrero and Stephanie Lee played against each other in high school as liberos, now finding themselves in California and then here in the NESCAC.
San Francisco must have something in the water because their liberos are the best in D3.
I mean, they're also the best in D1.
Tori Golden has entered the game, and it finds the line. We see some new entrances here for the Jumbos. We see Golden, we see Zoe Gregory, as well as Cora Cunningham in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, notorious Jumbo way to play the game here is that 6-2 setup where you have 2 setters and 6 hitters. Zoe Gregory is now that other setter alongside Maddie Yu, and with that means you need to have multiple right side hitters. Last year it was Riley Farragher. Tori Golden proving herself here right now, had an incredible swing. I mean, Hank, we both played volleyball in our time. From the right side to go across that hard cross court shot is just an impeccable swing to see so early on here in this game.
Her first pass of the day is straight to Tori Golden with a bit of an unorthodox approach to find the corner in the bottom left side. 14-9 in the Jumbo's favor.
Play smarter, not harder, Jordan.
Janelle Yarwood from Scottsdale, Arizona is back to serve. And so far the service error is playing a bit of a role in Middlebury's points so far. Started off on an 8-1 run for the Jumbos. All of a sudden, Panthers find themselves within 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a big point of emphasis for the Jumbos in order to really close out the rest of this game. They really do seem like they are in control right now. I mean, that was just a monster hit, even better dig. But the Jumbos do seem like they are in control. They are playing their game, their offense, and the service errors are costing them a fair bit.
The attempt from Tori Golden went wide there. Has struggled with her accuracy and hitting percentage so far this year as well as last season. We'll have to have a bit of a turnaround here as we see Megan Harrison enter the game as a defensive specialist with Yarwood back to the bench.
There really is no weak point with this Tufts starting 9.
What a shot by Cora Cunningham. Her first kill of the game.
As we'll see Legree come in, sometimes when you're on the court going against another team, you see someone sub out and you're like, oh, thank goodness, we've got half a rotation to get some points on the board. But against the Jumbos, they're just so solid all around.
A receiving error there by Middlebury yields a perfect opportunity for the Jumbos to get right back on the board.
I think I might have seen the fire in Audette's eyes there. I mean, anytime that a ball's coming over for an overpass, every hitter just wants to get up there and mash, and that's exactly what she did there. Middlebury is playing scrappy. They're getting balls back up. Massive block. Oh, my God.
Linafelter thought she had a chance, but no. Golden and Legree playing a massive role as another timeout is called by the Panthers.
The Jumbos are rolling up 6 in this first set. If there's anything the Jumbos struggle with, it's getting off to a hot start, but that does not seem to be an issue today. Middlebury trying to focus with their second and final timeout of this set. Wondering what the game plan is, Jordan, going into the second half of this first set.
I'm going to be honest with you, Hank. I think it's try to just iron out some of the more simple errors. 8 points away the Jumbos are from winning, and the offense from Middlebury isn't looking so solid. I mean, coming into the game, we knew it was going to be all about those middles. Their middle blockers lead their team in attempts and in kills. So that is where the Middlebury offense is its strongest, but if the passes aren't there, then you can't run the ball to the middle. You're forced to go to the outside, to the right side, and all of those hitters aren't taking actual swings. They're just tipping the ball over. And yes, while it is working, the Jumbos are going to start to pick up on that. So I think that you take the rest of the time in this set and just try to iron out some of the simple things. Get back to the basics of volleyball. Pass first and then worry about getting a good swing on the ball.
Absolutely. They've done a great job of keeping the ball up on these hard jumbo hits, but that's not enough when, as you said, Jordan, you're running through your middles. You've got to have good quality passes to your setters so they have options.
Cora Cunningham back to serve. O'Toole had to run over for that one as Kraskowski gets another shot off. Gregory to the right side. Tori Golden with a nice attempt, recovered by Ferrero. Kraskowski finds another angle. Seems like the Jumbos are kind of, pacing their way towards the front, which allows for the back attacks to be more successful.
I mean, I might be seeing things here, but I feel like the Jumbos offense is cheating a bit. They're expecting tips on these off passes because you are having a lot of setter out opportunities here, or just scrappy plays where the second pass ends up coming from the Middlebury back line.
Another strong swing for Christine Audette.
Yeah, she's really alive right now. Kind of just continuing with what I was saying, they're creeping in, and that leaves the entirety of the back line open, massive holes in the back that instead of just a simple, tip over the block, hope it falls down and find space, you can push it real deep, try and hit hands on the way out, and it opens up more weapons here for Middlebury.
It's a setter dump there by the side of Gabby O'Toole. She plays up front in the 5-1 and now has 26 kills on the season.
I am just baffled by how disgusting that tip over was. Great work by Middlebury to get some points on the board. Got to be creative against a team that's hitting better than you.
That might have been one of the cleanest setter dumps I have ever seen. And that's something that you get when you run a 5-1 and you have your setter in the front row, is they're allowed to break that plane. So they can go up and they can swing or they can dump, and that just, it becomes a confusing thing for defenses to deal with.
O'Toole's been very valuable. The shot from Ambach goes wide, and the Jumbos find themselves 5 points from a set 1 victory.
Well, they hit 20. Last 5 points.
Number.
Excuse me?
It was the requisite number that you were
Yes,
talking
exactly.
about.
Well, this is only the first set, so we'll see.
You haven't lied to our fans yet, Hank.
Yarwood from the left side,
not
partially blocked. This time it'll be Kraskowski. Lee with a nice pass over to the right side. Golden leaves it just wide.
I'm noticing a few problems with the right side hitting from Tufts. Now, that was a bump set from Lee because the setter was out. But with the right-handed right sides, you've got to get that ball all the way to the pin so they have options and they're not just hitting cross-court every time.
Maddie Yu will try a setter dump of her own, try to give Middlebury a test of her own medicine, but that's a net violation on the Panthers side.
3 points. Can't give those away.
Absolutely not, Hank, especially when you're getting an overpass. That is a free ball to just go up there and hit it right back really aggressively. There was going to be no block despite there being 3 eligible people standing at the net, and the fact that you hit it is just an absolute killer to momentum.
Really strong swing by Sullivan. And this time 17 on the other side gets a chance. Janelle Yarwood with a kill.
Yeah, and that's just one of those great looks when you're up and you're taking your swing. As we've said, these middle blockers are going to get their hands on the balls. On both sides of the net, there have been touches, a lot of power from these hits coming away. And one of the things that the Jumbo's outside hitters have been doing is they've been seeing the outside hands of the middle blockers, hitting off of that and keeping the ball on Middlebury's side of the net.
Nice jump up by Ambach to pick up another kill. Middlebury has to make something quick happen, only have 3 points to spare. Ferrero back to serve. Lightfoot had the Tufts bench on their feet. Cora Cunningham seemingly floats into the air to maintain distance to get the block back down.
Absolutely. Cora Cunningham has a bit more height than Grace Legree, her fellow middle blocker on Tufts. So with those quick ones, she doesn't have to jump as high. It's easier for the taller players to block those easy soft ones.
Gregory with a bit of a lucky break. Welcome over to tie court, so to speak, as a little bit of a service ace for herself, as now Tufts finds themselves within set point.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do there. It's just one of those unfortunate things. It hits the top of the tape and rolls over, and no one's ever really prepared for that to happen. You just kind of have to deal with it.
Strong swing from Ambach, found the hands of the Jumbos over on the left side. And so as the ball did swing out of bounds, still Middlebury with another point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was an easily blockable ball. All four hands were right there. It just went right through the block. So for the Jumbos, maybe that's the thing that you're trying to figure out between set 1 and set 2, as we are now going into set 2. I mean, Tori Golden absolutely houses that ball right on the line, and that'll put the Jumbos up 1 here.
Bring home the gold, she shall. Tori Golden with a beautiful block, as 1 set will go over to the Jumbos here on tie court in their home opener. Well, we had the chance to talk to a couple of the members of the Tufts volleyball team a couple of weeks ago, and as they had a bit of a road trip over to Atlanta, Georgia, we spoke to Grace Legree about how that went.
Yeah, it was really fun. That was our first big away tournament this year and our first big competition, so it was really fun to get out there on the court and play some big teams, but I think we really stepped up to the challenge and took it. Having the drive from the first point, we got definitely tested as a team at a few points, but I think we were able to step up to that challenge, and just the importance also of just relying on our teammates and looking to them in times of hardship.
And then as a setter.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That was
Great hearing what Grace Legree had to say about Tufts this season, and she is one of the key players going in. The senior captain playing opposite Ava Tuccio of Middlebury. You can see the player comp on your screen now. Grace is lacking a few inches on Tuccio, but much more efficient when hitting the ball, mostly because Tufts is so good at spreading that ball around. Tuccio, on the other hand, with her height, is elite on the defensive side of the ball. 0.91 blocks per set. You won't see that on just any player. And it's going to be a matchup to watch. So far, Grace Legree has gotten the better of her. Not sure Middlebury has any blocks in this game yet.
Actually, Hank, they have 2, but that means nothing in comparison to the Jumbo's 6. Coming into this game, we even said it, Middlebury's block, that's what we need to be concerned about. That's what the Jumbos need to focus on if they're going to win this game. And oh, how they have handled themselves in such manner. They are paying attention to the block. They're using the block to their advantage, finding outside hands, tops of hands, in order to get the ball over and make it harder for Middlebury to play. And conversely, they've taken what Middlebury has been best at this season and used it to their own advantage. Their blocks are there.
Not only are the blocks there, Jordan, but something we were talking about before we got into game, before we went live, was the hitting percentage being a bit of a concern for the Jumbos. A lot of the players have some of their numbers maybe not in the place that they would like so far at this point in the season. But if you take a look right now at the stats that have gone through in this first half, you see Legree with a 60% hitting percentage, Yarwood with 333. These are the numbers that you want to see.
You're absolutely right there, Andrew. You also skipped on Christine Audette, also hitting at a 600 clip through that first set, which is absolutely incredible. And I think one of the scary things here, if you're Middlebury, is that your highest hitting percentage is on your setter. That's not a great stat that you want to see, especially when you're running a 5-1. It's not even like she's meant to be attacking the ball.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's a small sample size, just 1 set in 1 game. But Middlebury definitely wanting to see more out of their hitters. Lucy Ombach has been carrying them in the kills department. And they'll want to try and mix in Ava Tuccio, who we just compared to Grace Legree.
It's an interesting adjustment here for Middlebury as well. You know, Ombach, not necessarily the largest offensive contributor so far at this point in the season. So, you know, they've been relying on Sullivan and Kraskowski specifically, but now Ombach in a bit of a different role. Middlebury gets the service for the start of the second set. Lightfoot tried to put some spin on the ball, but yelled just out of bounds. Middlebury going to start off with their first point of the set.
That's one of those serving offenses where you have your right side in the 4 position, so she's taking a swing from the outside. It's not super different between the right side and the outside, but it is a different pace of set, and it's a different height, so an adjustment does need to be made. So while it was a great look, much like the back set there that went to Grace Legree, I mean, beautiful tempo. It just, everything clicks there.
Right, again, the Jumbos, not only do they spread their sets around, but they spread it around to different players. They've got middles hitting right sides hitting outsides, and outsides hitting middles.
Audette saw a large proportion of the serves in the first set. Kraskowski gets on the board with a kill.
I'm not 100% sure where that ball fell, but it looked like there were two Jumbos right there, and neither one of them was just able to get a hand on the ball. Powerful swing there coming out from the right side, and it's a good thing if you're a Middlebury fan here, seeing those pin hitters already starting to produce.
Quick attack up front. Legree again had the Jumbos bench on their feet, but a nice dig back on the other side. Yarwood, a bit of column A, a bit of column B, some strong shots, some drop shots. Either way, Tufts with another point on the board.
Legree is dangerous out there with that vertical. Oh my goodness. When she's in sync with her setter, it is unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, but Hank, you can't forget that she just got dug. You were saying something earlier about these Californian liberos, and oh my God, what a dig coming out right there from Langley.
Kelly Ferrero.
Oh, Kelly Ferrero? My bad.
The captain.
My bad. I'm sorry. I lost the number. Understand why she's the captain now. That was a very leadership play. That one, however, not so much.
The yellow liberos can do some work on our side too, Jordan.
Steph Lee, such a creative server. If she goes on a run, expect a short set right to the Middlebury front line or just after one.
Went straight from the back, right up to the front, and then with a nice dig to prevent another kill from going over. Block there by Middlebury, but Lightfoot sends it right back. Lightfoot from the right side. Absolute powerhouse.
Well, there's just no block there to get in the way of Maya Lightfoot. She finds the hole in the block, and she finds the center of the court wide open. Usually defenses like to pinch towards the middle, and you kind of challenge the hitter to go and take line, especially when your block is covering that entire side. So I'm not really sure how the hole was open, but Maya Lightfoot found it.
I believe that was a net violation committed up there.
Right off the pin, trying to hit around the block, down the line, just couldn't get it where they wanted. Steph Lee still serving. That's really bad news for Middlebury.
O'Toole right up to the middle, and they finally get off the board back into their own territory with the help of Ava Tuccio.
Yeah, O'Toole that block, you might say.
Oh, I get it. That was a good one.
It's in the name. I had to.
Ferrero back to serve. San Francisco to San Francisco. But we'll be bridging it right back over to the Jumbo side as it just hits the net.
We've got a great crowd today. Maybe it's coming out of the pandemic, fewer mask requirements, but it's great to see the stands filled on every side of Cousins, especially for a Friday game.
Ombach at the right side. Gregory over to Audette, and somehow the Jumbos recover. Sullivan. No points right there, but Cora Cunningham will find it.
Lee doing superhero work out there, getting her arms out for every single ball, tracking it down, not leaving her players behind, and that's the reason the Jumbos stayed in that point.
I mean, not to detract from the Jumbo's great defense there, but did you see the set from Middlebury's middle? That ball didn't move. That was incredible. I'm a little taken aback by that.
Great hands.
Another service error there, receiving error, apologies there, by Middlebury. Will lead to another quick timeout early on in this second set. As we have a little bit of time, some interesting roster decisions to be made to kind of consider here. Riley Farragher not entered the game just yet, has missed the last couple of games. Tori Golden has essentially taken her spot in the rotation. You see Farragher holding the clipboard on the bench. I hope everything's all right with her.
Absolutely. We don't have any insight into whether that's injury or coach's decision, but regardless, the Jumbos are rolling with the lineup they have, and you know, they've put in a lot of players. I think everyone on this roster has gotten some playing time. The Jumbos have had so much experience early in the season. One thing Coach Thompson loves to do is challenge her players against really tough out-of-conference opponents. They played a top 10 team in NYU just last week, I believe, and won that game. So going up against a conference opponent, they're definitely ready, even if this game gets out of hand.
I mean, a lot would have to change here, Hank, for this game to get out of hand. It's very much so a Jumbo-dominated game. As much as, you know, the score doesn't necessarily reflect it, you know, it's been 6-7 points. It hasn't exploded to anything like a double-digit point lead for the Jumbos. It just seems that they're really playing at their pace, and a lot of Middlebury points have been coming off of their own mistakes.
The freshman Gregory back to serve. As of today, 124 assists, 4.3 assists per set, and also 11 service aces, not counting the one that happened earlier today. Very valuable piece here for the Jumbos. O'Toole right up to the middle. Lexi Lienefelter just finds the backside. Middlebury get the point that they needed.
I don't know if that actually hit the line. I didn't have a great sight on it, but it kind of looked like it was a little bit out.
Tori Golden has entered the game. Cunningham nearly gets it over, but a nice play up front. I believe that was Lienefelter again with a nice block.
Miscommunication between Gregory and Golden on that one. You could see her going in for the stutter step, could only get a weak hit over, and Middlebury will be happy to block those.
Yarwood this time from the right side of the court. Nice finesse again coming out from Lienefelter. Sullivan over to Lee. Can the Jumbos get a point on the board? Back attack by Audette yields nothing. Long rally here in tie court. Kraskowski with the finesse, but a nice dig coming out from Gregory. Setter dump in from Gregory again. O'Toole back to the backside. Lee with the attempted assist. Golden, no good. They'll try again. Another nice dig from Audette. And finally, Yarwood lays down the haymaker.
Ferrero can't do it all. Come on, Middlebury. She was doing amazing, using her hands, bumping everything, but eventually the relentless Jumbo attack came through.
I think both teams went to every hitter they had available in that rally. That was just great volleyball all around there, carried by both teams' liberos.
And we just went from the longest point that I've ever seen to the shortest point that we've ever seen, as service error there for the Jumbos will mean that Middlebury regains possession.
Maybe some exhaustion from the Jumbo side of the court.
Tori Golden, beautiful placement.
And that's the set they're looking for to the right sides, right out there all the way to the pin, so Tori can turn her hand outside and hit down the line.
I mean, talk about versatility. Just different tempos, different spots. She's really shining in today's game.
Kraskowski, nice block by Legree. Middlebury trying to save it, but it is unsuccessful. Grace Legree right from the middle.
You know, Hank, you were talking about needing some defensive help. I don't know what more defensive help you can get than a diving pancake to keep your team alive in the point.
Absolutely, and kind of a crazy block by Legree, reading the cross-court snipe. But you can see Middlebury really trying to get Kraskowski in on every single play. She's hitting from the back line behind the 1 meter, 10 foot, as well as in the front court where she is now.
Audette with a bit of a misplacement right there will get a point over to Middlebury, as it will once again be Lexi Lienefelter back to serve.
They were trying to repeat that defensive magic they had going on a couple of points ago, but not able to come up with the ball on second contact there.
Nice call by Golden. Knew the ball was going out of bounds, and with that, she will take her exit back to the bench as Yu and Lightfoot re-enter the game.
Maddie Yu, a captain this year, leads the team in service aces last I checked.
And was very close to finding one there. Unfortunately, not there. Yu with 14 on the season.
Jordan, do you think that one was in?
You know, Hank, I do think that was in. I think that was close. Oh, defense. Oh, defense. Reset. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Definitely no touch. I think straight into the net.
I don't
disagree?
I thought Maddie, you hit that right into the block, and then we just kept keeping the ball up right along the net. I was excited. I thought a joust was incoming. There's nothing more exciting than a joust.
Right, see who gets in the weight room more.
Chance ball here for Middlebury, and they almost find success, but a beautiful dig coming out from Yu. Switching places with Lee for a second there.
Great work by Tufts. Maddie Yu with the defensive dig. That means setter's out. Set from Lee is off as well, and they still get the ball over on a nice hit, leads to a Middlebury error. Those are the points you just cannot give up if you're the Cougars.
We've gone all the way back around the rotation here. Audette back to serve. Beautiful swing coming out from Ambach. And Tufts unable to handle it.
Yeah, that was an interesting cross-court shot taken from the spot where you would ideally look to hit line. With the hole open on line from the Jumbo's block, I mean, there was every opportunity there to just mash one right down. You get the point either way, so maybe I'm just being a little bit nitpicky, but you would like to see this offense run a little smoother when the defense is doing wonders like they have been up until now.
Another nice shot coming in from Yarwood.
Now it'll be interesting to see with Ava Tuccio at middle if the Jumbos just avoid her with the success they've had from their pin hitters so far.
Lillian Caldwell has entered the game here for the Panthers as well. She will get her first attempt from the left side. The Jumbos still finally find the way to recover, but it looks like a penalty opportunity does mean that Middlebury gets the points.
Right, just couldn't get it over on three. Couldn't get it over on three. I'm sure they're aware of the rule on that.
You know, you'd think you'd learn after all these years. Yu straight to Yarwood. That's been the combo that's been working today, Hank.
The wind-up. Oh, my goodness. Just impeccable form. Someone take a clip of that, put it in every video textbook of volleyball that you can find, because that's what you want from your outside hitter. Are video textbooks a thing?
I'm not 100% sure, but if there was and, you know, they were going to start being made, that should be page 1.
YouTube tutorial, maybe.
Caldwell unable to pick up the kill on her attempt there. 17-12 in the Jumbo's favor here in the second set at tie court. Jumbo's looking to take home their season opener as another timeout has been called.
This is looking oddly reminiscent of set 1 when I believe Middlebury took a timeout at 17-11. You know, they do have 1 point more in their favor here, but they're trying to shake things up. They're trying to, you know, push more balls to the outside, take more swings that aren't from the middle. The Jumbos were starting to cheat there. Now they can't necessarily do that. But what are you supposed to do when anytime you hit the ball, Stephanie Lee is there?
Absolutely. And I mean, as they are on defense, the Jumbos are on a roll on offense as well. They can just hit from wherever they want now. There are no challenges from Middlebury with consistent blocking, and the passes aren't all that great from the middle or from the back line as well. So the Jumbos, what you're saying in a timeout right now is just keep them coming. Just keep on hitting. Doesn't matter if it's outside after outside after outside. If Middlebury can't adapt, they won't survive.
And the great thing about the Tufts defense is it's not just Lee that has had an impact. Everybody on the Jumbo side is contributing, whether it's Maddie Yu, Zoe Gregory, Christine Audette. We've seen all of them have really exceptional digs. And again, you look at the hitting percentages right now, and it's absolutely absurd. Grace will agree with a 571, Yarwood 412, Audette 429. Those three have been the primary offensive factors here as the Tufts Jumbos find themselves up 5 in the second set.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good for a team that statistically is hitting just over 200. That number's going to shoot up after today's game.
Oh, yeah. Gregory back to serve here for the Jumbos.
That serve had a lot of power behind it. Even if it's just a float serve, that just makes it so much more difficult to...
Oh my goodness!
My word!
Janelle Yarwood, stop it.
Kill number 9 for Janelle Yarwood.
Yeah, that's going to warrant an immediate sub.
Yeah, get some defensive specialists.
She's been hitting
in
the
there.
gym? The swings look so strong as of late.
Absolutely. I mean, coming into the season, they said, hey, we got to replace Kate Dessler, and Christine Audette and Janelle Yarwood have come in, and they're swinging harder than ever.
Well, Yarwood did play last year. You know, she does have some base connection going into the season already in terms of how to deal with a new setter. Last year it was Maddie Yu was her new setter. Now it's Zoe Gregory. And when you have base mechanics that are just working as well as hers are right now, same with Tori Golden. It doesn't matter which setter is coming in. You just have chemistry instantly.
And that was a big question coming into this season. You lost a lot of key players here for the Jumbos. Kate Dessler, the absolute superstar, as well as Rels Edrick and Jen Ryan. But it looks like the rest of the Jumbos are starting to put it together here in their year back. As another really nice serve, this time put up by Yarwood again. She can do it all.
Right, there are two options for the Jumbo attack now. You could just keep doing what you're doing because Middlebury has yet to stop it, or you mix in some tips, some middle hits to catch Middlebury off guard. This is the perfect time to go for him.
O'Toole leaves that pass just wide as Caldwell is unable to convert, and Tufts all of a sudden with 4 straight points find themselves very close to a 2-0 lead.
And that right there is why I'm not a super huge fan of a 5-1. Your setter's in the front row. Now you're down to 2 hitters. She gets a perfect pass right to the middle. If you have a middle hitter there who's not all the way pushed over to the right side because your setter's in the back row, 3 hitters, you have the availability to just toss up a perfect 2-ball and let one of your big outside hitters just come in and have a free shot. Changing the pace from a 1-ball to a 2-ball from the middle most of the time means that there's not going to be a block there anyway, and if there is, it's just one person. And since Middlebury wins the height game, that would just work so well in their favor. They really need to find some new formula that's going to work right here.
Harrison re-entering the game. Nice reach up by Cunningham. Keep the ball in play. Lena Felter right up the middle will keep Middlebury within 6 here.
And you know what? Maybe the key is to simplify this game for the Panthers. Right, your setter's front row. You only have 2 real hitters to go at. Why make it more complicated than it is?
Oh, Audette. The outsides for the Jumbos are working, and they are cooking here in the second set. 22-15. 3 sets from that 2-0 lead.
Looks like the Jumbos opted for strategy A. Just keep doing what works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
A nice back row attack right there, as that was number 17 here for the Panthers. Lainey Sullivan was on the service for that last opportunity.
Yeah, that ball might have been heading out. I'm not 100% sure. It did have a lot of height on it, and maybe that is one of the weak points of the Jumbos. Not to say that she's not playing well. I mean, that was a beautiful pass right there for Megan Harrison, and the hit just slightly off. But she is the... I mean, if you excuse the freshman setter in Zoe Gregory, she has the least amount of playing time for the Jumbos. And maybe that's the point that if you are the Panthers, you're trying to attack.
Stoppage in play as a hair tie seems to have found its way onto the court.
But who's?
Who put that there?
It seems as if everyone on Middlebury
Get him out of here.
has
I don't want to see him in Cousins
their
Gymnasium
ponytails
ever again.
intact.
Andrew, did you throw that on the court?
That seems
know,
like something he would do.
Guess we'll never know. Gregory over to Audette, this time with a change of speed. Now a nice opportunity has opened up for Middlebury. Another great dig from Zoe Gregory.
Are we sure she's not the libero?
They're switching positions.
They're kind of switching it up here. Golden with a partial block, but nobody on the Panthers are able to receive it. Golden providing power on the left side, Audette providing power on the other side. These are working very well for the Jumbos right now.
Tufts very comfortable with their setter taking that first dig, especially when Steph Lee has been so solid with her hands today.
O'Toole looks over to Tuccio.
Now
kind of
Tufts
faked him out a little bit.
challenging.
Harrison in the back row for defensive purposes over to Audette with an absolute firecracker of a shot.
I mean, that was just a great swing right there, but I am noticing that it looks like the Middlebury offense just isn't communicating well enough. Again, you have this 5-1 position. You only have 2 hitters. They try running a trick play there, but neither player was really on key with the other. You have a middle coming all the way over to the right side trying to run a slide, and she wasn't anywhere near by the time the set came in. That was just out. Great swing there. Powerful off the outside hands of that right side blocker, Maya Lightfoot.
You can see with Ava Tuccio, number 6 in Tufts, trying to keep her humble, trying to keep her in the middle of the court. She's a bit slow on her feet, so they want to keep her away from the pins. And Maddie, you, the junior captain, you know she's going to be able to see that.
Audette leaves that shot just wide. It's still a 5-point game, but remember that Tufts is at set point, which means that Middlebury's going to have to earn them all back here. Audette will try again, but she is met by Tuccio up top.
I actually don't know if that one hit the block. I think that just went straight into the net there. If you're Christine Audette, you kind of just got to shake those last 2 off. The first one, you just had an awkward angle coming into the ball. It was just a really awkward set. And that last one, I mean, you just are trying to make up for the fact that you just sent the ball long, so you're trying to put it down with as little space between the block and where that ball lands as possible.
You will find Lightfoot, but another block. This time it was clean. That was Tuccio up top with another successful point over to the Panthers. And Cora Thompson all of a sudden has to call a timeout because this is starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, 24-21. I mean, Middlebury's starting to climb back into this. The middles are showing up, the blocks are getting there, and the Jumbo's offense isn't running as hot as it's supposed to be. Hank, what thoughts you got on this?
Jumbo's got to pick up the pace of play. They're letting Tuccio get to those pins. And as I was saying before, they really just kept to the outsides this entire second half of the set. You know, why bother hitting from the middle when Audette and Yarwood have been so good from that left pin? But now, adapting are the Panthers. You can see it. That's why Coach Thompson has taken the timeout. She's definitely drawing something up for this last play. Want to mix it up, catch the Panthers off guard. They only need 1.
I mean, if I'm Coach Thompson here, I mean, maybe I'm just a little anxious to get into the next one, stop this before you can get into extra points or anything along those lines, and I'm thinking over on 2. You've been taking great swings. They're expecting the swings. The blockers are getting set really early, trying to make their swings over to the pins or just plant themselves to get as much vertical as they can from the middle. And that's something that you can take advantage of. You see them set, and if you're, Maddie Usen right now, she already has a dump on the day. Maybe that's the answer. It's just over on 2.
Bold prediction, Jordan.
We'll see if it pays off here. O'Toole back to serve. You're not going to be able to hit that one back on the second attempt, but watch Stephanie Lee right there keeping that ball alive.
I guarantee that wasn't part of the plan, but you can certainly count on the defense from
Maddie
the Jumbos
all
today.
Over the place here, as now they'll get a chance ball. This time will find her target in Audette, but a nice block up front. Legree with another block here. The front line here for Middlebury working very well. Kraskowski with a nice swing. And it's all of a sudden a 2-point game here in the second.
Middlebury is playing the offense and defense that they want. Meeting the ball at the net, easing the pressure off their back line, and then able to get quality hits past the Jumbo block.
Maya Lightfoot's going to finish it off.
Was that a back 2? You don't see that one every day. I mean, she is a right side hitter, so she is used to taking those angles coming off from behind the setter. But a back 2 off of serve receive, that is special.
Absolutely, and I think after that shanked pass, that must have been what Coach Thompson was looking for right out of their timeout to get that final point, and it paid off.
Well, didn't work the first time, but eventually maybe the game plan started to ease into formation there for the Jumbos, who have taken the second set and a very dominating lead over Middlebury here in their home opener.
Yeah, now here's where I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. As much as we are JumboCast, I liked a lot of what we saw from those last couple of points from Middlebury. And not to be that guy who keeps hating on the 5-1, but the second that they had 3 hitters in the front row, 3 bigger blockers, everything just started to click for them. The rallies went longer. And, I mean, it just started working for them. So maybe, I mean, I'm not 100% sure how confident they are in a second string setter and also finding another right side hitter, but it seems like that is working well for them.
A closer set from the first. Can Middlebury turn it around here in the third? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got set 3 action here in tie court. Welcome back here to tie court, set number 3 in this NESCAC matchup between the Tufts Jumbos and the Middlebury Panthers about to get underway. Andrew Howe alongside Jordan Burke and Henry Stahl on the call for a very exciting Tufts University opener. And hey, look at that. Some changes on the floor for this third set. Riley Farragher, who was missing from the first 2 sets, has found her way onto the right side to start this game off.
Set 2 was all Gabby O'Toole for Middlebury. She had the same number of attempts, but, 5 more attempts, but same number of kills as the first set.
Well, she is the setter. You don't necessarily expect a whole lot of kills to come in there. But the very interesting thing, Hank, is look at the attempts difference between set 1 and 2 from Middlebury. 71 to 33. They were getting far more swings out, and that is what really kept them in that second set and what they're looking to translate forward into this third one.
Kraskowski unable to find the opposite side of the court. Tufts on the board to start this third set off.
And Riley Farragher is now in scene time. Looks like whatever was bothering her or whatever the coach's decision was, it's time for her to shine. We saw what she could do last year.
Yarwood keeps it up. Audette will send it over here. Chance ball for the Panthers. Kraskowski goes straight to Lee. Another powerful shot from Legree there.
That's up, that's up.
Coming out from Middlebury. You don't see that every day. And Audette in the middle again. Set it up here from Maddie Yu. Beautifully recovered there by Ferrero. Kraskowski with her third attack of this rally as Farragher sends it up, and down it goes onto the floor. Riley Farragher, welcome back to the court.
Didn't go their way, but Middlebury likes the long points. As you saw, it was a closer set in set 2 when they more than doubled their kill attempts, and they're built to last. With their defensive structure, the Jumbos just came away with that one with the scrappier play.
A little bit of a run starting, though, for the Jumbos. Either way, still a point going into their favor. But not this time. Ava Tuccio. It's a nice shot up the middle to get Middlebury up on the board.
And here you are back in that 5-1 position. You know, Middlebury not starting with the serve, so they're going to put their setter, who is Gabby O'Toole, who's arguably been their best server as well, up in the front row, try and get her to serve first. 2 hitting options. And we know they like to run the ball through the middle. I don't know why the Jumbos aren't going to necessarily cheat that way and just try and take what you can.
You know what, Jordan? I got to correct you there, because Gabby O'Toole is a hitting option herself with all those kills.
She also had 886 assists last year, which is a pretty absurd number. And she'll tack another one on. Why not? Just every day's work.
Yeah, So Janelle Yarwood is playing her own defense now. We had seen Megan Harrison there, and that does kind of indicate that maybe she can't necessarily get as great of defensive reads as someone who used to play libero. Makes sense, and that's just going to cost the Jumbos there. Put them down 3-2 actually, and now we're tied up here at 3.
Yeah, nice shot by Audette to cause some chaos over on the Middlebury side. And for her reward, she will be granted with another service opportunity, something that she has been very happy with so far this season.
Audette was incredible behind the line serving earlier in the season. She's since calmed down, fell behind Maddie Yu in terms of service aces on the team, but still so dangerous when she's back there. Middlebury will give out a sigh of relief that they got her out of there.
We've gone back and forth here at tie. 4-3 in the Panthers' favor, one of their first leads here of the game. Janelle Yarwood. Oh, man. Get out the way.
So I had said it in the last set. When the block doesn't set up and take away that line shot, it is free. And we know that any of these pin hitters on either side of the net can take it. And right there, it's Janelle Yarwood making her presence known.
A nice attempt at coming out there by the side of Lillian Caldwell, but a nice block up front was actually yielded out of bounds. So the Panthers regained the lead with Ferrero back to serve.
Farragher a little frustrated with herself, but as we know from our superlatives video, she does have the most energy on the team as judged by her teammates, so don't expect her to stay down.
Now, how's that for energy there? Nice shot. Koskowski sends it back over. Lee's going to set it up this time. Yarwood with the finesse.
That's still up.
Nice dig coming out from Ferrero as well. Find Koskowski in the middle. It's tipped up by Cunningham, but a nice opportunity now granted over to the Jumbos. Farragher sends it right back down, ricocheting between the net and the blockers and back down onto the floor.
There's the energy you want from Farragher. She'll sub out, as is the case with this rotation, but definitely giving some momentum to this team that is tied up. And make no mistake, if you're a viewer at home, this match is still wide open. Tufts is up 2-0 in sets, but this Middlebury team has a very similar record to the Jumbos, and I don't expect them to go down without a fight.
Yeah, they've been going blow for blow here in the third, have regained the lead multiple times as Britt Lange, the defensive specialist, enters the game. Gregory Yarwood just a bit wide. And now a 2-point lead opening up for the Panthers.
Yeah, that ball just doesn't necessarily have enough loft. Like the set, I mean, does not have enough loft in order for a hitter to get on top of that. So when you're going in for that swing, you're just getting behind the ball and you're driving it out like a line drive in baseball. You're not really getting on top of it like you would want to.
Just a bit outside here for the Panthers on the serve.
A lot of service errors piling on from both of these teams. Maybe a sign of exhaustion from all those long points in the second set.
Ooh, a quick pass up to Cunningham, but it's nicely dug out there by Krakowski. Anna Nachmanov enters the game, and that's what she is there for, the defensive specialist. So a really nice dig to send the ball back in the Panthers' tide. You up to Golden on the right side with that signature two-hand approach. The Panthers are going to keep the ball alive. I believe Cunningham hit the net there on that play.
Yeah, that is the call there. I mean, you hear the crowd saying it, use it, as the Jumbos constantly getting these free balls. I mean, pass wasn't necessarily great. Both of the tempos on the set and on the approach coming in from Cunningham just off time, and it's put Middlebury up too. I mean, what can we say? They're playing better. They took the momentum that they had at the end of set 2. As we said, Jumbos only need to win 1 to get it here, and they've taken that momentum and they've rolled with it.
Yeah, Captain Nachmanov now in for the Jumbos. You often see her put in the middle of sets to kind of jumpstart the defense when they're struggling, and Tufts, with their first real deficit so far this match, could really use her energy.
Speaking of energy, I mean, the bench over there celebrating every point, new celebration every point too. I mean, they are on point. They want to see their team win.
My favorite's the bench press, when they go back and try to
that is a good one.
some lifts
That is
with
a
water
good one.
bottles.
Some creative minds. at Tufts University. Apply today.
Kowski sends it over. Gregory again to the right side. See, Tori Golden has focused her focus less on power and more on kind of finesse, trying to find the backside corners. Hasn't been necessarily super successful so far.
This is the danger of the Middlebury defense. They make you do what they want. Tufts no longer just doing whatever.
Take it back.
Take it back
now.
I stand corrected.
I think Audette did
They will-
basically exactly what she wanted on that play.
Yes, they will take what they want. But as I was saying, Middlebury putting up more blocks. They forced Tori Golden to push it out, which she really doesn't want to do in that situation. She wants to keep hitting hard. But the defense has really picked up for the visiting team.
Nice block attempt there by Farragher and Legree, but nobody else was home there right behind them. So
that was something that I was very curious to see how it would play in. Maya Lightfoot is sitting for this set. Riley Farragher's the new right side. Last year when we had seen her come in, she was a blocking fiend. I mean, any ball that was there, she was getting a hand on it. If it wasn't just a solo block, then she's at least taking power off of the touch. And her not playing, I mean, it might have slowed her down a little bit because she is a little late on the blocks, but she is still, you know, making her presence known, even if it's not in the favor of her team.
you can talk about maybe some of the mistakes that Middlebury made, but it was all jump-started by another beautifully placed shot by Christine Audette, now with 10 kills herself in this game.
And wants to put some pressure on with this serve here. We know she can do it nice and low.
Farragher will get a shot. This time a bit of a push over to the other side. Put down in the middle, Tuccio back into the game. 6 versus 6 matchup here as Legree got sent right back. But Janelle Yarwood continues to dominate over on that left side.
So when the 6v6 matchup in Legree versus Tuccio isn't working, yeah, that happens. Janelle Yarwood just takes a swing, and even when you're playing as great defense as the Middlebury backline has, when she's on top of the ball, it's down before you can make a move, and she just eats.
And there's the threat. Legree making Tuccio stay in the middle of the court. She wasn't able to close that block on the right side.
Yarwood will try again. A little bit less power. Ferrero this time going to find Kraskowski, and a nice shot over there by Katie Kraskowski. Nobody from the Jumbo is able to get over. Not even a diving Audette to lead back into their favor.
Middlebury is a very tall team. They're able to hit over those blocks, and when they're accurate, they're deadly.
Kraskowski back to serve again. Maddie Yu re-entering the game, right over to Grace Legree. Really powerful shot, but it's dug up by Middlebury. Farragher! She's got some left in the tank.
She's back. She's here. She's still swinging hard. Nothing has changed in Riley Farragher's game plan. Even if she's not getting as much playing time as we saw from her last year, she's still around. She has not changed. Her swings are still beautiful and finding holes all across the court.
Lightning never strikes the same spot twice, and you saw Tufts got 2 free balls and went to 2 very different options. Really hard to defend if you're Middlebury.
Setter dump here for you.
Too many of those.
Middlebury was able to converge on it successfully. Audette tried with the pancake, but ended up onto the ground. Now 12-11 in the Panthers' favor.
Last minute hesitation there. I mean, she didn't know whether the ball was going to come right to her or not. It's one of those off the blocks, top spin, backspin, what's the deal? And ultimately you just figure it out too late. Did her best to try and get down for the pancake, but couldn't get there in time. Middlebury's still up 1. They're controlling the pace right now.
Nicely blocked over there by Middlebury. Yarwood's going to tip it back. The front side of Middlebury is doing work, but it looks like they were maybe just a little bit too active there on that play.
And that's the downside of having such great blocking capabilities, is once you start getting in rhythm, you start getting sloppy. You think that any time the ball is coming near you, you're just going to get a touch on it, anything, especially when it's a light contact there, like the tip coming out from Yarwood. And when you start to get sloppy, you're not paying attention to how close you are to the net, and you just kind of drag it down when you're coming down with you. And that's what puts the Jumbos tied here at 12.
Gregory has re-entered the game. Yarwood again on the left side, recovered by Kraskowski.
That's a double.
Yeah, that was a double.
We're going to keep playing on, and it looks like ball don't lie. Cora Cunningham absolutely getting straight through the block attempt there.
You read our minds, Andrew. Jordan and I were thinking the same thing. Ball do not lie. That was clearly a double from the Middlebury side of the court.
O'Toole. This time over to Ambach.
Yeah, that was just a poorly set block from the Jumbos. Yarwood wasn't necessarily as close to the net as you want to be. I mean, she still got her hands there, but she wasn't penetrating over the net, and that's what really defines the block, is your ability to penetrate to the other side, take away the ability to swing. And when you're not able to do that, you create a pocket in the block, and it just fell right in there and fell to the ground.
Nice dig by Ferrero. Gregory to Yarwood. Another successful kill.
Line shot equals success. Couldn't put it simpler.
Absolutely. How do you shut it down? I mean, there are just so many lanes to cover at the net. And really, with the amount of space off the net Yarwood had, it gives her a lot of options. Usually you think the closer to the net you are, the better your options are.
And another option right there was Tori Golden using a bit more of her power.
Right, but when you're close to the net, really your only option is hit as far down as you can. When you're off the net, especially with those 10-foot line hits, you've got a lot of different opportunities to go line, to go cross court, to go tip, to push it right into the block, and that's exactly what Chanel did on that second to last point.
Timeout called here by the Panthers. Their lead is no more. The Jumbos again find themselves up 3 here in this third set. It's looking good for Middlebury, but seems like the Jumbos kind of found their stride again, kind of regaining control.
Yeah, I think this timeout came about 2 points too late. Middlebury had been leading from 3-2, just swapping points back and forth, sometimes up 2, and then just, they were in control. They controlled the game. And then we get to 14-13. It's the Jumbos' first lead since 2-1. That's the point where you call the timeout. You stop it then and there. You kill the momentum before it can get out of control. It was 13-13, and now it's 16-13. The Jumbos are coming alive, and Middlebury is looking sloppy.
And this is the time for Middlebury to step up. They're well within reach of winning this set and avoiding the sweep against one of the top teams in the nation in D3 volleyball. Middlebury has a similar record to Tufts. We've said that throughout this commentary, but they have gone against mostly unproven competition. Tufts has challenged themselves against multiple top 25 teams. Middlebury has yet to face a top 25 team until today against the Jumbos.
And so far, it doesn't seem like they've been up to the challenge as much. Still a lot of volleyball left to be played. Of course, 9 more points is the magic number for the Jumbos to try and finish this one off in a 3-0 fashion.
Andrew, while we still have time, don't talk to me about magic numbers. The Mets haven't clinched yet. I'm not ready to talk about it. Just
big series.
Change the word. Change the word.
What are these Mets you're talking about?
Okay, Twins fan.
Back into action here at tie court. Golden worked well in that last point. This time, it's going to go back up to Caldwell. Blocked right back up by Cunningham. Caldwell will try again. This time gets a little bit extra space and will get past the diving Nachmanov.
You know, I'm actually kind of happy to see Middlebury win that point because they had such a clear opportunity to do it earlier and just didn't snap over the ball. That's like, in terms of hitting basics, hitting mechanic basics, you don't need to have every shot in your toolkit, but you do need to be able to snap over the ball. It's what gets it down. And they had a clear 3-ball opportunity to do it and just didn't get on top of it. So I'm happy they won the point. Even happier now that we did too.
What just happened there, Henry?
Tori Golden, you could see it in the body language, just shrugs. She did not mean to do that. Grazed off the inside of her hand, and instead of hitting it hard like she wanted to, she just tips it right into the open space. And you know what? A point's a point.
Nice shot there by Lena Felter. And Golden is going to try to lean the ball over the net, but not the cleanest shot of her career right there.
Right, Gregory and Golden continue to be out of sync so far this game. You see it a lot in Golden's footwork. She doesn't exactly know the timing. The balls are coming in higher than she expects, then she tries to adapt, and Gregory goes lower.
This time it'll work. Finds its mark inbounds. Tori Golden this time finds a kill off a nice pass from Zoe Gregory.
I think we're starting to see a ramp up. I changed my mind. She just got subbed out. But you had, that shot that wasn't necessarily meant to be what you want, light contact. That one just a roll shot. I was really hoping that we would see the final progression of that and see an absolute mash. But, not going to happen now. But we'll see if Riley Farragher, who's taking over that right side position, is able to do it.
Let's see. There's the attempt. And I think she answered your question, Jordan. She can bring the heat.
So you ever get one of those questionnaires and it's like checkbox yes, checkbox no, and then you see in like cartoons they'll put in a third one absolutely. Let's go above that and say definitely. Is that even above absolutely? I don't know. That was just really impressive. That was
no
an incredible
doubter.
shot.
No doubter when it hit her hand. You could hear it.
Yeah, that was close as well. Nice defensive attempt by Middlebury, but they weren't able to gain control. Grace Legree with a really nice shot to put the Jumbos within 5.
Yeah, this is a very necessary timeout right now for Middlebury.
Volleyball is a game of momentum. You always want the serve in your hands, and Tufts has kept it throughout this latter part of this set, increasing their lead from 2 to 5 since the last time out. And Middlebury really needs to get it together and get it together quick. A 5-point deficit early in the set is one thing, but this late when Tufts are 5 away from putting this whole match into a sweep is an entirely different ballgame.
Middlebury is going to need 11 of the next 15 points in order to stay alive in this game. Pretty tall task for them, I would say.
Andrew, I don't know if the math tracks out on that. 11 of 15?
Because Tufts can give up 4, and then Middlebury has to get to 26. That's 11 out of the 15.
I'm out here just trying to count how do you get to 25, and he's playing 4D chess. I like this. Well,
it could be 10 for the next 13 as well, but I believe that's the odds are maybe a little bit less in their favor that way.
That's a tough student for you. That's a jumbo.
Andrew, I'm an engineer. We do numbers a lot. Do you want to? You want to take my exams? You want to take my exams?
I'm gonna have to pass on that. I mean,
can't blame me for trying.
No.
What do you have?
Speaking of trying, that's what we want Middlebury to do right here now. The defense is there. They're making touches. The blocks are there. They're getting hands on the ball. They're taking away the power from all of these shots. And have the jumbo hits been powerful. And it just something's not clicking, and it just needs to start clicking in order for this game to stay competitive. Obviously, we want the Jumbos to win. Jumbo fans, JumboCast, it just makes sense.
We're unbiased.
But what we prefer more than a Jumbo win is just a good game. And it looked like we were getting that at the start of the game, and now it's just starting to slip away.
Seeing some good volleyball there by Britt Lang. Nice dig over there. Farragher on the right side sails the ball up into the air. The amount of momentum that came off of Lang's hands just shows how powerful that shot really was.
You can see it's really tough getting those hard hits. I know, but she's got to punch her arms out there. She can't swing them. You're never going to get them properly in place. It's so hard to time it.
And now another mistake coming out from Lang.
Speaking of swing, that's what we call a swing and a miss. Flailing your arm up, just trying to keep the play alive and the ball going nowhere.
Maddie, you leading the team in service aces, not who you want to face in crunch time.
Steph Lee over to Farragher. Nicely recovered by Ferrero, but Legree with a nice tip block gets the ball back into Panther territory.
O'Toole was going for the classic front row setter up, turn your hand, and just throw it behind you. Try and get it right to the opposing team's 4 spot. But the Jumbos read it perfectly. They got the touch there. They got the block. They got the point. Losing that one on a service error, but I mean, the momentum is certainly in their favor here. They only need 2 more to win this one.
And Middlebury still needs about 10 to get to that point. So going to be a tall task for them, but starts right here on this service.
Great pickups like that are what's going to keep you in the game.
Kaskowski with a bit of a punch attack there. Lee will find Audette onto the left side. Partially blocked, keeps the ball in play. Kaskowski with another attempt, but it's denied here by Legree. Lee sends it up and over, but a little bit out of reach for Nachmanov.
Yeah, that's one of those confusing times when you're at the net. You don't know whether or not you're supposed to play scrappy, just keep sending it over, keep trying to get a touch and keep the play alive, or if you actually have the time to reset and try for 2 passes and then getting a kill. And point goes Middlebury's way. That one does not. That one was all going Christine Audette's way. I mean,
It's a danger zone.
It looked earlier like she had a hand injury when she was trying to go for that pancake. Her hand's wrapped up now. That's her swinging hand. Clearly it's not a problem. I mean, no way to undersell it. That might have been the hit of the game.
Been a lot of really strong hits from the Jumbos. Going to try to close out the match here.
Playing scrappy.
Sends it over, and it looks like a nice block from Tuccio keeps this game alive.
That was almost a joust, but Grace Legree losing that ball slightly, just couldn't follow where it would end up on the net, couldn't get up and try to, joust for the ball. I love jousts. I live for jousts. They're so fun.
Such a cool name as well. Lee on the receive. Farragher on the right side trying to end it all. Blocked out of bounds. Game, set, match. 3-0. Your Tufts Jumbos coming up with a victory over Middlebury.
3-set win here for the Jumbos. As the fans out here are saying, night, night, rock 'em to sleep. I mean, this was the Jumbos game almost through and through. They had that one little hiccup at the start of this set where it looked like it was just going back and forth and back and forth. But at the end of the day, just Jumbos win. No other way to put it. They were playing better, and I mean, that's just how it works. You play a better game, you win the game.
Maybe along the lines of the expected outcome here for Tufts, but it's exciting nonetheless, Jordan. It's been about 10 months since we've seen the Jumbos play here on their home court, and they are definitely delivering here. We're going to have an interview, I believe, with Stephanie Lee in just a couple of minutes as the team is going to celebrate their home opener, but what a way to start the season off, and hey, guess what? We got some more action tomorrow.
I mean, and if we're going statistically here, Andrew, I'm going to be working tomorrow's game as well. I've done my homework. I've done my prep. We're playing Hamilton tomorrow. Hamilton, very similar to Middlebury. Middlebury 3-0'd Hamilton. We 3-0'd Middlebury. Now, you've been the math guy today. You just proved it. But if I wouldn't know any better, I think that means we're the favorites?
I think it adds up a little bit around there. Hamilton could be a very strong opponent. Of course, you need to get all the NESCAC wins that you can, especially after Tufts dropped a couple of pretty crucial NESCAC games to, I believe, Wesleyan and Trinity. So getting right back into the winner's column, obviously, a very desired outcome for them.
Yeah, and that's been a problem for the Jumbos. Even going back to last year, if we look at the banners hanging out on in the top of Cousins right now, you see a lot more NCAA Elite Eights than you do NESCAC champions. And that's not to diminish that making it to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament isn't incredible. But when it comes to conference play, the Jumbos have struggled. They didn't win the NESCAC last year. They made it the farthest out of any team from the NESCAC, but they didn't win the NESCAC. And I think that's what they're going to have their eyes set on this year. That's the goal. Win the NESCAC, because when the competition gets tougher, saw it last year when they beat the number 3 rated team in Trinity, Texas. We saw it as they progressed through the NCAA tournament. When the competition gets tough, they rise. But for some reason, they just have this one, hiccup when it comes to the NESCAC tournament.
And hey, the first step here is to take down a NESCAC opponent here on their home court, and they're going to do that starting off undefeated here at home. Reminder that this is the first of a 6-game weekend here on Tufts JumboCast. Tomorrow we've got men's, women's soccer, as well as another volleyball game against Hamilton, and the same outcome with both men's and women's soccer on Sunday. Make sure to tune in on TuftsJumboCast.com as we kick off October with a beautiful slate of games. We're going to take a short break. When we return, our very own Henry Stahl will be talking to Stephanie Lee about the win.
All right, I'm here with senior libero Steph Lee. Steph, how was it playing in the home opener today?
It was so exciting. We couldn't wait. We were counting down the days since like Sunday, and we're just so happy to play at home in front of other fans.
Absolutely, and you had a great game with the digs. Opposite you, Ferrero, another a captain on Middlebury. How was it playing against that high-level competition?
It was so fun. Like, major props to Middlebury. They kept us going, unpredictable, and they really made us work for it.
All right, how does it feel going up against Hamilton tomorrow again at home?
We're also so very excited to finally be playing at home. You know, it's going to be, they're going to work us hard, and we're excited to fight for it.
All right, any goals for the rest of the season?
To keep doing us. We can do it.
Nice, perfect. Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.